This episode of WDW Today is being sponsored by All-Star Vacation Homes. And with All-Star Vacation Homes, you can find lots of great vacation homes that range anywhere from 1 to 4 to 6 bedrooms, private patios and balconies, fully equipped kitchens, living, dining areas, complimentary wireless internet access, not to mention private pools, and even some resorts, some areas include a clubhouse and lots of other awesome stuff. And you know what the best part about All-Star Vacation Home is? The price. Lots to get for only a fraction of the price if you try to get that kind of amenity somewhere on Disney World property, even if it existed. So try them out online. Go to www.allstarvacationhomes.com.
This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Friday, September 3rd, 2010, and this is episode 768 of WDW Today. I'm Matt Hochberg of StudioCentral.com. Joining me on today's show is Mike Scopa, a senior feature writer and blogger for alleears.net. Welcome, Mike.
Now some person I don't even know reminds me there's
Ellen.
Eating, drinking, smoking, or flash photography alone in my dream.
And no videotaping.
Also joining us on today's show is Mike Knee-Jerk Newell. Welcome to the show, Mike. You were all over that one, Mike. I give you credit.
I'm sorry, and now I'm speechless. I don't know what to say.
I was thinking, as Scopa saying, I'm like, boy, that sounds familiar. And before I could even probably think that thought, Ellen.
That's going to be my new thing. When as soon as it comes into my mind, I'm just going to blurt it out, even if he's not even finished.
Stupid Newell, stupid Newell.
And Newell has CD, Ellen's Energy Adventure.
I love Ellen's Energy Adventure.
I did too.
Also joining us on today's show is Annette Owens, the fabulous manager of customer relations and group services for MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. I'm adding fabulous to your title. You're not just fabulous in general, Annette. It's now part of your title.
Hey, kind of cool, because you needed more to say to introduce me.
Actually, I think I actually made it shorter by combining the two, so it works out.
I guess so.
On today's show, we're talking about refillable mugs. And, on the surface, when I say refillable mugs, what's there to talk about? They exist and you can buy them. But you know what? There's lots to talk about with refillable mugs because, we're going to be talking about, are they worth it? When are they worth it? Do we use them? And how to decide if they're a good value for you. And refillable mugs have existed at Walt Disney World for years. I mean, they've been going back since I've ever started visiting the resorts and the parks. But as of late, they've, kind of changed a little bit. So let's talk about, why don't we first kind of give a brief description of what refillable mugs are. Perhaps there's some people who aren't aware of their existence or, how exactly they work. They've heard about them. Would someone, Annette or Scopo or someone like to kind of briefly give an overview of what the resort refillable mugs are?
Well, these are they're plastic mugs. I think they can hold probably 12 to 16 ounces of liquid. Mm-hmm. And you can purchase them at the either the food courts of most resorts, and if not just there, I think you can also probably find them in the shops at the resorts. And I don't know what the prices are these days. I think they're between $12, $13, $14, right around there. So that price alone gives you a starting point as to whether or not they could be worthwhile purchasing for you and your family. And they're available. When you buy them, they have this clip on them that says, hey, this hasn't been bought yet. And then when you purchase them to the register, they take the clip off and you can take them and you can fill them as many times as you are going to be staying at the resort. So if you're at Port Orleans, if you're at Pop Century, every time you go to the food court, you take your mug and you fill it up and you don't have to pay for coffee. You don't have to pay for tea. You don't have to pay for soda or lemonade, all that stuff.
Yeah, it's only for those items that Scopa mentions. So no juice, like real fruit juice. I think they have some fake soda juice. Coca-Cola products is probably the best way to put it.
Yeah, no milk.
Yeah, no milk. Good point, Annette. And the resort mugs, if I may lament for a moment or look back, the resort mugs used to be kind of cool because every resort had its own resort mug. Like there would be one for Old Key West or one for the Boardwalk, and it was kind of cool because it was like, okay, I'm going to be staying here. Let's get the resort mug for the resort we're staying at. But like everything else, it's been slimmed down and homogenized, and now we just have one resort mug for everything. Do you guys remember the old style mugs where you'd have one for every resort? Those were kind of cool, I thought.
Well, it makes sense now because they did the same thing with the card keys. They used to have a special card key for every resort. Now that's just the one.
Is that right?
Castle in the Clouds. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's right about that.
Yep.
Oh, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, I have a resort key that I don't know why I just keep them. I never throw them out. I have a white one from back in the day that had Dixie Landings on it.
Refillable mugs. So, when are refillable mugs worth it, quote unquote?
Never.
Annette, what do you think? What'd you say, Newell?
Never.
Never. Wow. Okay. Why do you say never?
Because Mike said that the mug costs $14. Okay.
Yes.
How much is a 2-liter bottle of Pepsi at Publix or any of the local places?
Good point.
If you drink $14 worth of soda, now I know people that buy them. I just don't think. I think it's way too much for, and it only holds what, 20 ounces or whatever it is. It's not. It's not very big. It's not like the ones we had on the cruise that they kind of make you buy because the soda was like $4 a pop.
Oh, on Royal Caribbean, yeah.
Yeah. So the refillable mug on the cruise was worth it. The refillable mug at the resorts, in my opinion, is not.
That's a good
But
point.
see, on the cruise, Mike, the difference is you could take it at anywhere on the cruise and
Right.
refill it.
That's true.
Whereas if you have the refillable mug, you have to fill it back up at the resort.
Right. You can't use it in the theme parks.
Right. If
That's
it was
great.
in the theme parks, it would
Then-
be
right.
a lot better deal.
I agree. It's a big difference, and I totally agree with that. Now I'm looking at all years. It's $13.49.
And consider that if you go to your local supermarket, most likely the soda on sale that week is probably 99 cents for a 2-liter bottle of soda.
Right.
Or you
And
could splurge for the bottles,
yeah,
the
exactly.
little
But
bottles.
right. And the point is that, I mean, soda is one of the cheapest things in the world because it's so cheap to make. And let's be honest here. Do you think I don't think Disney actually pays for the soda, to tell you the truth. I bet you anything.
Well-
they pay for the machines, but they get the soda for free or they pay like a penny on the, gallon. You know what I mean?
I ate dinner one night with a couple of kids in the college program who were in the hotel program, and they said that during their training they were told that managers are always looking to make 95% profit on every cup of soda that is sold at a hotel.
Absolutely. I mean, the reason to get a resort mug is for the convenience factor. It's that you get the mug and then you don't have to stand in line. You just go straight to the dispenser in your resort, grab the soda, and you're set for the stay. Obviously, it goes without saying, I think that but I'll say it anyway. The longer you stay, the quote unquote better value of the mug because you're gonna be able to use it more.
Or also, I've got to say, the one time I've seen where the mug really comes in handy and you really get your money's worth is with some of these youth groups that go down. Mm-hmm. When they're not really going in the parks, they're hanging at the resort. They're there for a competition or they're there for educational classes or something. They're not really going in the parks and they're hanging at the resort. I mean, because if you think about it, most people are not spending day on day at the resort. Yeah. They're in the parks.
But another point I want to make that if let's say I'm staying at Pop and I'm in the 90s, one of the buildings far off property. Right. It's cheaper for me to go to the soda machine near the elevator and spend $2.25 on a Coke than it is to walk all the way over to Classic Hall to pick up, to refill my mug of 20 ounces or whatever it is.
Mike, it's actually $2.75 now because the last week when I was at Pop for a couple of days, one night I went over to get a soda and it was like $2.75 for water or soda at the machines at the.
That's insane.
So I said, yeah.
Water?
So,
wow.
Yeah.
See, this is why I like going to the Hess Express for those sodas. You can go there and get a 20 ounce plastic bottle of a Coke product for 75 cents to $1 maybe. It's much cheaper than the vending machines.
I remember we did a show a long time ago, and one of the tips for saving money was the best way you can save money in Walt Disney World is not buy their soda. Bring your own, and you can save so much money.
Yeah.
In that regard. But here's a question about the refillable mugs. Do any of you still use them? Like you guys, when you stay on property, do you buy a resort mug?
Nope.
What I do, Matt, is I go to Hess. I buy a case of water for $3.99 or $4.99. I bring those little packets of like powder, to make a powder drink, and that's how I do it. I'm not gonna unless I was, if I was going to be there. The last time I did that, I remember taking my family down there, and I would stay like 2 weeks at, say, the Caribbean or someplace. Then I would buy the mugs, and the kids would use them, and yeah, that would be worth it. Back then, they were maybe $11 or $8 or whatever, so it was worth it. But these days, on the trips that I go, I mean, I'm never there longer than 3, 5, maybe 6 days, so it's not worth it because most of the time I'm in the parks.
Annette?
No, I haven't used them for many, many years. I think in the beginning we used to get them for souvenirs because they were different. Each resort, it was a little different. Mm-hmm. And let me just say, yeah, we got 2 and shared
Okay.
because the kids were younger and they weren't going to drink 20 ounces.
Is that against the rules to share?
They're kids. You always share with your kids.
Yeah.
So, but now I'm not in the resort that much. I'm in the parks. I'm running around. I'm a lot like Scopa. I bring a bottle or 2 of water. I don't even get that many. I just keep refilling it. But I love to have the little packets of lemonade or fruit punch or Crystal Light or whatever just to make it taste different. And I can just take 1 bottle and keep it all day.
Well, here's the elephant in the room that we have to talk about. When refillable mugs are, it just seems like everybody, and I don't mean everybody, you know what I mean? A lot of people abuse the refillable mugs in that either they fill up at other resorts or they bring back their old refillable mugs from previous trips and use them again.
I've seen people who had them that they've washed them so much that the colors
That's it.
You can't tell where they came from, but yet.
Dixie Landing.
Here's the thing with them. We've all seen people bring them to the fill-up stations, and it's flagrant. Like Mike said, like they've been washed so many times, or they're so old that they say which resort they were actually from. The pre
Disney's golf resort
resorts specifically.
How about it's July and it's got Christmas designs on it?
Well, back in the late 90s, there was a technological solution that was being explored by Disney to take care of that. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but I believe they started testing this at Typhoon Lagoon.
Oh, the barcodes.
The barcode. So for those who are listening who have no idea what I'm saying, there would be a barcode that would be specific to mugs sold at every resort. So if you bought a mug at, let's say, Port Orleans, let's use Port Orleans again, and then you went to Typhoon Lagoon and you brought your mug, when you tried to use it at the dispenser stations at Typhoon Lagoon, it wouldn't work because the Typhoon Lagoon stations would look for a Typhoon Lagoon barcode. Say that 3 times fast. And so that was one way that they were trying to combat that abuse. But I don't know why it didn't stick. Maybe it had something to do with the way that the dispensers were built and they just couldn't use the technology. Maybe they just couldn't get it to work right. But I know that they were toying with that idea in the late 90s.
It's interesting because look, there's no way you can spin it. It's stealing, okay? But that being said, there's a lot of, people. First of all, if Disney cared about this is why I think they pay nothing for the soda. If this was a real revenue source, Disney in a second, in a heartbeat, would put something like those barcoders, like some cast member sitting there to
filling it up for you.
Yeah, exactly. There'd be some way to prevent it, but because they don't, and because they obviously know that people do this constantly, and since they don't do anything, they by default don't care. It means to me that it just shows that's why it's so prevalent. I think that the stealing is going place. It is stealing, but like we said, the price is exorbitantly high for these things when you consider how little it probably costs. The soda and everything. But I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on this? Because we see it all the time, and we know we have friends who do this. We know people who've done this. But it's interesting that it just keeps. It's been going on for years, and they do anything in their power to prevent you from, getting into the park with someone else's ticket. But using the refillable mugs from 1996 is still cool.
I don't know if it's still cool.
Well, you know what I mean. I wouldn't go up to the cast members and say, "Can I use this old mug over here?" But
yeah, and a lot of them might say, "Yeah, go ahead."
Yeah, I've never seen it in force. Never.
If you walked out of the store with a shirt that you didn't pay for, you'd be stopped and maybe even charged. But there's no, like you said, there's no. Well, I've never seen any. There's no repercussions or recourse if you did take a.
I think the worst thing that could possibly happen is they would say,
"You can't use it." I'm sorry.
Don't do that, sir.
Yeah,
exactly.
I've seen people, families with 5 or 6 people carry them in bags. They take up a lot of room. But is soda that much a bit? I don't know. To me, I'll stop and pick up a 2-liter bottle and I'm good. I don't need to carry 5 cups with me on an airplane.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, let's do that. Oh, go ahead. Annette.
Here's
Sorry.
something I was going to say. I mean, and it's one of those that sometimes I've been there and you see the looks of the other guest. I think I've actually seen guests say something to other guests that are filling up with the old mugs, but never the cast member that's standing right there. So I think,
Oh, really?
I've been there at Riverside when that's happened. And, you know, it's one of those where we've all looked at somebody because when you see the Christmas mug in July, it's really obvious.
Yeah,
So,
that's a good point.
You
Well,
know,
Let me ask this. I think we all agree that the price of the mug is just too high considering everything. So how much would it be? How much should the resort mugs be, in your opinion, that would make it fair for Disney? Because, I mean, of course, they made $1. They're still probably making 99% profit on that. But never mind that. What's a fair price, do you think, for Disney to charge these resort mugs that would make it be something that you would probably consider purchasing?
$4.99.
Scopa?
It would have to be under 10. I'd go with $8 or $9 maximum.
Good point. That's interesting. $5. You said that, Newell, and I definitely agree with Scope. It's got to be under 10. There's no doubt about that.
Under 10 to even look at it. To make it feasible.
yeah, under 10. Yeah.
To me, under 5, because I can buy soda so much cheaper someplace else. And I understand, not everybody has a rental car, not everybody's access. But even if you paid double the price at the stores in the resorts, even if I paid $4 for a 2-liter bottle, it's still cheaper than a $14.95 mug for one person.
How about this? What if you kept it at $14.99, but you could fill up in the parks?
That's different. But then
It would
again,
be worth it.
who wants to carry a mug everywhere you go? So like if I have a family of 5, I'm going to carry 5 mugs because the kids aren't going to carry them. Mom's going to wind up carrying them.
Where in the parks? Where are you going to have access to those type of dispensers?
Counter service.
Counter service.
Yeah, they'd have to put new machines everywhere if that was the case.
I mean, like in Pico spills?
Exactly. Well, some places already have them. Not a lot, mind you. Newell's right. They'd have to add them to all the places. But
They're never going to do that.
no. But I for $14.99, if it was in the parks, I think it would be worth it. Even though you have to carry them around, like Newell said, I would think at least you could bring 1 or 2 and do the. It's not the Annette method. Annette didn't do this, but the sharing.
They were small kids. I'm just saying.
I don't think it's against the rules. I don't see anywhere where it says. I've never seen a rule that says you can't share them.
The only rule I've ever seen where it says that the mugs are for use at that particular hotel for that duration of the stay.
Right.
And that's all. That's the only rule that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Now,
But the mugs aren't that heavy when they're empty, and you wash them out and you clean them out. And I think
but Annette, if you're carrying a day bag and you have 5 5 people, 3 kids, and I'm thinking of when we were kids, and my mom and dad. That's 5 people. 5 mugs take up a lot of room.
no, it definitely does.
I think what they need to do is first bring back the resort-specific mugs. That makes it a much more enticing buy. I always, thought it's kind of cool. You're staying at, a resort, whatever resort it is. Even if you're staying at a value resort, I think it's kind of cool to associate with that and kind of, be not proud of it, but you know what I mean? It's exciting. You're staying at the resort. You want to identify with it.
But it's bragging rights when you go back to work and you have your coffee mug
That's true.
Exactly.
that says I stayed at the Grand Floridian.
Exactly. So bring those back. That's going to make it worth another $1 right there. Not the price increase, just worth $1 than it is right now.
That brings up a point. Does it make a difference as to what resort, where you're staying, as to whether or not it's worth it or not?
Great point, Mike. I think it probably lends itself more to the value resort simply because you don't have any sit-down restaurants over there. Because sit-down restaurants, you order a soda, you get unlimited refills. So for $2, it's kind of worth it because you're probably going to drink at least 2, maybe 3 glasses, and you'll make that money up right there. But
And you don't have a fridge in your room.
Yes, good point.
Now let me say another thing. If you're staying at a resort and you dine at the at a sit down, can you bring the mug? Like if I'm staying at Old Key West, can I bring it to Olivia's and have the server fill it up, or do I have to purchase another soda because I'm at a sit down meal?
I'd be willing to bet money. The answer to that is no.
Okay.
I didn't have to where I was at, but I don't know if that's the case resort wide.
Or do
So
I
if you
just go out?
buy-
Do I go
If you buy a
outside?
mug at the Animal Kingdom Lodge and you can you take it to the Mara?
The Mara, yeah.
Okay.
But not like Mike's saying, like if you go to Boma, for instance, could you save
Because
$2?
it's a sit down. Oh.
Yeah. But like I was saying, bring back the resort specific mugs, and either bring the price down or let you fill up in the counter service locations in the parks. Those are the only 2 ways. Those 2 requirements are what I need to make to make the resort mugs worth it in my mind. And trust me, even if you did that, kept the price of $14 and allowed you even just to fill up at the places in the parks that actually have it, because I think every park at least now has at least one place with the refillable drinks. Maybe not the Magic Kingdom. But anyway, the point is that it would that would be enough for me to at least make it worth it in my estimation, to at least get one just to have around as a drink thing. But in its current form, I really am not a big fan of it at all.
I think we can all say that.
It's just, if you like it, more power to you. I just don't think it's not a good value at all. So good. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Want to remind all of our listeners that a great value is our sponsor, All Star Vacation Homes, because you're going to be getting a lot for a little. You're going to get a lot of space, a lot of amenities for a little price. Check out the great deals you can find at All Star Vacation Homes at their website at www.allstarvacationhomes.com. To find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, you can visit the WDW Today website at wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, Mike Newell, I'm Matt Hotchford. We'll see you on the next show. And the fabulous Annette Owens. I'm sorry.
That's what you get for sharing.
Stupid Judy, stupid energy.
This has been a production of Mouse World Radio.